Whiskey for Beginners, a thoroughly amateur production. I've said it in other videos, if I ever get to the point of actually forming a production company, that's what I'm going to call it, Thoroughly Amateur Productions. If there is an amateur in the world, I'm the leading candidate. I am not a professional at anything except maybe my job. This video, I probably should have ought to have done sooner, but as I'm going through my list of whiskey basics that I want to do videos on, I keep thinking of other things and I insert them where I can. Some I've already made, some I haven't already made, and I adjust the order on my list, which I'm looking at right now. And this video, and as with all these whiskey basics videos, really, is answering a question. And the question here is, what does it mean to drink responsibly? And I realized the other night I was watching a video by SLB Drinks, is the name of the channel, on YouTube. It's Kurt, the father, and Trenton, the son, and they have help from their wives off camera. And they tend to end their videos by saying, please drink responsibly. And of course you hear that in alcohol commercials. But what does that mean? It's easy to say, and I don't question the sincerity of Kurt and Trenton and others who say it. But what does it mean? Well, here in New Mexico, one of the first things that comes to mind is don't drive while you're drinking. And I realize that it might be possible to drink a little bit and still be safe to drive. But it's just safest to not drive if you're drinking. The simple fact is that, the simple fact is that people who drink and drive go out and they hurt other people. How many times have you heard of somebody who killed the whole family and came out of it without a scratch? He was the drunk. And that ain't right. It's immoral. It's wrong. It's evil. Don't do it. And if you think I'm being over dramatic and using theological words, well, yes, I am using theological words, but it's a plain and simple fact. If what you do injures somebody else, you are wrong, period. And yes, I get excited. I really believe this stuff. So that's the first thing. And like I say, it comes to mind in New Mexico because I swear drunk driving is the official state sport. It's got wonderful scenery here. We got plenty of natural resources. New Mexico has a bunch of idiots living here, and if I could get back to Texas, I guarantee you I'd be gone tomorrow. Anyway, back to what I am. What does it mean to drink responsibly? Well, you're not drinking and driving. You're sitting somewhere. Either you're going to get a ride from somebody else, Uber, taxi, Lyft, friend, what have you, or you're at the house. And that's where I drink. I have my 1 or 2 glasses of whiskey a night right here in my living room. And what then? What does it mean at that point to drink responsibly? Well, I didn't look it up, and I had planned to, but my planning is all up here. I don't do anything on paper except my list of videos that I'm looking at. And that's on the screen. It's not on paper. I meant to look up where in the book of Ephesians Paul says, don't be drunk with wine, but be filled with the Holy Spirit. Now, I realize not everybody who watches these videos, maybe only a few who watch these videos, is a Christian. I am, and so that's what I think of. But the point of that verse is control. Don't let alcohol control you. Let the Holy Spirit control you. That's the contrast the apostle is making. Well, if you're not a Christian, the principle remains, don't let alcohol control you. Be in control of yourself. You determine how much you drink. Now, it might be that you're one of those people who cannot drink at all, in which case, why are you watching this video? Valid question, right? There are some people who, for whatever reason, whether it's mental or physical, have to choose between either not drinking at all or being drunk. Of the two, it is better to not drink at all. If I found that that was my choice, if every time I drank I got drunk, I would stop drinking. I'd pour out all my whiskey. I'd never buy another bottle and wouldn't regret it. I don't want to be out of control of my body, of my mind, of my life. The only one who controls me above me is God. Below him, I'm the one living my life. I live it. I control it. But you may be, like me, like most, able to drink some without any problem. Well, find out where the limit of some is and just don't go past it. One of the reasons I never drink 3 glasses of whiskey a night is 2 puts me up to that limit or close to it, depending on the size of the glass. Sometimes I pour more than I intend to into a glass. With some whiskeys, they're so good that I will pour a bigger glass than with others. But I know where my limit is, and I don't get right up to the edge of it. I want to stop before I ever get there. It's like the old-time chariot deal. A king was looking for someone to drive his personal chariot, and to test the various applicants, he had them drive along a mountain road with a drop-off at one side. And most of them, they tried to see just how close they could get to the edge without going over. The one he hired was the one who stayed as far away from the edge as he could go. And the king asked him why. He said, "I'm driving the king. I'm not going to risk his life." That's why the king hired him. Don't risk your life. Don't risk your mind. Don't risk your judgment. Don't risk your control of your life by getting just as close to drunk as you can. Don't do that. I don't drink for the effect. I drink for the taste. There is an effect. It is alcohol. Especially as I'm learning that I like higher proof stuff, there is an effect. But I'm aware of that. I take it into account. If I find I'm getting more effect than I want, I slow down on the sipping. I'll take a sip every 5 minutes instead of every 2 minutes, say. Or I'll decide, well, I was going to have 2 glasses. I'll just stick with the 1 tonight. To drink responsibly, then, is to be in control of the alcohol and not the alcohol in control of you. And that really boils it down to the essentials. There's not much more to say than that. So don't get drunk, and by any means, don't drive or what have you while you're drinking. Even with if I've gone through half my glass of whiskey, I'm beginning to feel the effect. I walk perfectly straight. I know I could drive. I don't do it. If there was an emergency, yes. But not too many emergencies are going to come up in the middle of the night. I've been married to my wife 44. It'll be 44 years in August. And who knows what time this video will actually appear online. But in that time, between the both of us, there haven't been even half a dozen middle-of-the-night emergencies. So it's safe for me to drink at night, to experience the effect as part of enjoying that whiskey. I'm not seeking the effect, but it is there. But I don't go out and drive. I don't say, "Hey, I'd like some ice cream. I'm going to go to the store." No, I don't do that. You shouldn't do that. You control the alcohol. Do not let the alcohol control you. And if the only choice you have is between drunk or teetotal, go teetotal. That concludes my advice on the subject. I am a thorough amateur. I can't give you learned dissertations. I can't give you deep analysis. I can give you that, and I hope it is of some benefit to you. My plan, as I look at the list, is to this video and the one I did just before it about whiskey snobs. They're kind of preaching videos, and I want to get back into the whiskey, and that's what my plans are. So until the next time, here's a thoroughly amateur ending to a thoroughly amateur video by a thorough amateur, because this is Thoroughly Amateur Productions. Have a good day.